So we're still in the middle of COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anyone who's gotten sick?
Yeah. I know a couple people actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I know one
How
person
sick?
that died from it.
You know one person that died?
Yeah.
Okay. Were they old, young, skinny, fat, sick, healthy?
They were my age, actually. It was one of my homeboys. He was kind of like, he only had one lung anyway, so so I guess his health wasn't the best, you know what I mean? But yeah. Yeah, my homie Chubb, rest in peace, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, appreciate it.
I know two people that have died. One of which is Fred the Godson.
Yeah, I know of him. Yeah, I know of what
Yeah.
happened, yeah.
I mean, we did an interview and we would run into each other sometimes. We did a music video for him at one point. Frank Collada, the mobster who actually sat in the same seat you're sitting in right now.
Damn.
He ended up having, when we did the interview, he had breathing problems already. He was already on oxygen.
Okay.
So I forgot what he had. It was like COPD or something like that.
Was that the guy who got kidnapped by by the cartel guy?
No,
that wasn't him.
No,
Okay,
that's a different. That's Johnny.
Okay.
No, it's a different guy. Frank Collada was actually part of the Casino movie story.
Mm.
You know, he was Joe Pesci's guy in real life.
Mm-hmm.
And he ended up catching COVID a couple months after our interview. Nothing to do with Vlad TV, just so before anyone says create a whole thing around this.
Right.
This was literally months later. He ended up catching COVID, and he ended up passing away.
Damn.
We did his last interview, so at least he got to leave something behind as a kind of a testimony to sort of his life.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this shit is real. Every day I actually check in terms of what the vaccines, how they're being developed and so forth. And actually what's interesting is that just today we reported on it, the ruler of Dubai has a picture of him taking a Chinese vaccine.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, the leader of Dubai, who's worth like $3 billion or something like that.
Yeah. He's actually a good guy, yeah. He's actually a good guy. He actually he look out for the poor people in his country. He built them houses and all type of stuff. Like he's a real great person. Yeah.
It's his name is Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram.
I'm sure I'm messing that up. So my apologies to anyone who I'm offending by this. I'm doing my best here.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is the Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates and the ruler of Dubai. He has a net worth of $14 billion. I was wrong.
Yeah, 14.
An extremely wealthy man who's done a lot. He's transformed Dubai, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And that whole region. And, guy who's very much loved by his people.
Absolutely.
And he is taking one of the Chinese vaccines right now.
Is that on the stock market yet? I might want to invest in that.
I'm not sure if this one is. I think this was a state-run lab that did this one.
Okay.
But I think it's kind of like a sign to show people in the Middle East, like, hey, listen, when this thing gets rolled out, everyone should take it. When the vaccine becomes available, will you take it?
I don't know, man. I would have to know more about it. You know what I mean? I'm not just gonna take the first shit that pops out. I got to see how other people, after they take it, how they're gonna react to it. If it's gonna kill anybody, you know what I mean? I'm not just gonna pop out and take no shit. No, hell no.
Right. Well, when it does get rolled out,
I will consider it though. I mean, shit, I don't want to die from that shit.
Thank God, man, because I really hate all the anti-vaxxers.
Yeah, man.
The flat earthers and the 5Gers and
yeah.
Everything else. Remember when everyone was saying 5G was causing the coronavirus?
I still think there's something to 5G. I just think we don't really understand it. I don't know about the coronavirus though. I don't know about that. But I think it's something up with that shit though. I don't think it's just all clean technology. I don't think that.
Well, when the vaccine does get rolled out, right, when it gets approved, which is supposed to be maybe this month, end of the month, early next month, something like that, it's supposed to get emergency FDA approval. You and I won't get access to it anyways. The first thing that'll happen is all the at-risk people will get it
Okay.
first. So all the really old
The
people, the
elderly
people
and
in
the
nursing
children,
homes,
probably. Yeah.
and then all the frontline people that are working in the hospitals,
Hmm.
the ambulance drivers, the police, the teachers, they will get the first batches of this stuff.
Tell me this though: how many vaccines can we take, bro, before it becomes harmful? Like all the things we've been vaccinated against since we were little, to go to school and all these different types of things. Like, how much of that shit can we put in our body before it becomes harmful to us? Like, do we know
Uh,
about
I
that?
guess uh, I guess this is a question for a scientist, not
I'm just saying, like,
not someone who is on the internet creating memes. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just saying, man. I mean, we talking shit. I just want to know.
Right, we're
I
talking
mean, you
shit.
got a
I
lot of
don't know,
information.
man.
Obviously, you schooled me to a lot of things I didn't know, so I just thought I would ask.
I'm not sure, but I can tell you that at the start of the year, at the start of the pandemic, I went and got my flu shot. I talked to my doctor and I said, should I take it? He said, absolutely. I said, are you taking it? He said, yep. So I'm like, all
It
right.
didn't make you sick or
So
anything?
no, not at all.
Okay, good.
Not at all.
I
In
know a lot of
fact,
people
I
get
haven't been
sick from that
sick.
shit.
Let me knock on wood here,
Yeah.
but I have not. This is the longest I've gone without catching a cold or anything of that sort.
Okay.
Like,
I
yeah,
I don't really think being like, cold, common cold and shit like that. Like Islamically, we have a different view on things like that. Like Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he said like sometimes when we get sick, it expiates some of our sins from us. So we have a different
okay,
view. Yeah, we have a little different
okay.
view about it. So I don't think not getting sick at all is a good thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just don't think it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your approach on it, then yeah, I think that's an interesting and respectable view
Yeah, yeah.
of that. I personally would rather not get sick if I could avoid it. I
Yeah.
mean,
It's not fun or anything, but
everyone, yeah, I mean, everyone laughed at Michael Jackson for wearing masks all the time, and now look.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. But Michael traveled a lot too, man. He was in some crazy places. And even when I went to Japan, they were wearing masks like soon as I got
Yeah,
off the plane. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
yeah.
Well, in really bad news, Freeway, the rapper,
Mm, my
as
bro.
well as Oschino, lost their sons in
Yeah,
like
man.
the
So
same
sad.
week.
Sad, man.
Fairly young men. I'm not quite sure about the ages, but the pictures I saw, they looked like they were in their
Yeah, like
late teens, maybe early
early 20s
20s.
or something. Yeah.
Um, I'm not sure about Oschino. I do know that Freeway is devout Muslim.
Yeah, definitely.
You guys know each other?
Yeah, I know him. Like I ain't met him personally, but we talked over the internet and things like that. And we have mutual friends. So yeah.
Yeah, I've interviewed him since before Vlad TV, back
Okay.
when I was doing DVDs. We're talking like, I mean, shit, I go back with him probably like 15 years.
Okay.
Um, and I have nothing but good things to say about him, period. I've never had any level of bad experience with him. He's always been humble, polite, respectful. He's been a dope rapper. He's a dope freestyler. We have some freestyles from him.
Okay.
And we talked to him about his kidney failure.
Mm,
He was going through kidney failure. He was on dialysis.
yeah.
And at one point, he got a new kidney.
Oh, mashallah. That's good.
And
I didn't even know that because I follow him on the
yeah,
gram, so I kind of keep up with a lot of his story, but I didn't know he actually
yeah,
found a kidney. That's awesome.
yeah. Scarface went through kidney failure recently as
Yeah,
well.
that's my
He's
brother
trying to
right
find a new
there.
kidney.
Like I know him personally. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Me too. Me too. COVID is actually what triggered all his shit.
Yeah, yeah, I remember. I was keeping up with him. Like I call him every now and again, and just to make sure he's doing okay.
Yeah.
Make sure he's bouncing through this shit.
Yeah, but to go through really almost dying and getting a new kidney and
Yeah,
everything
that's
else
a
like
big deal.
that, to make it to the end of all that, and then to see your child die, I don't think I could put my head around it. I
Yeah,
can't even say I know how he feels or anything of that sort. It just must be devastating.
yeah, man. Rest in peace to their kids, man. I just recently lost my mom, so it's like I definitely understand how they feel. You know what I mean? Like when you lose somebody that close to you, it's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah, yeah. I saw you had posted on your Instagram, and you and I
Yeah.
talked about this before. before our interview. It's a tough one, man. Were you guys really close?
My mother, she was all I
Yeah.
had in this world, bro. Yeah. She was
Yeah.
all I had. Like, and I lost my father years ago when I was 20. So, I mean, like, I don't have no parents, like no grandparents. Like, it's just a crazy, a crazy impasse for me in life right now, Yeah.
Yeah. I've heard. I remember my dad used to say that he didn't really feel like an adult until all his, both of his parents were gone.
Hmm.
Like a real adult. Like, okay, you have no one to really lean against at this point. You have to be the
Yes.
rock.
It's a trip, bro. It's like, it didn't really hit me until I actually saw my mom. Like, cause my brothers, when she died in home. And my brothers, naturally, they live in LA. I live way out here. And so they were there before the coroners came, like, so they got to see her prior to the funeral and things like that. And at the funeral, bro, it was like, it didn't hit me until I saw my mother laying up like that, man. I was just like, damn. I just broke down at that point. Like, I had to go around the corner and just let it out, because I was like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
That shit hit.
Yeah.
It hit hard.
Yeah, I remember seeing my dad. He died last November, and seeing him in the coffin. And the thing that bothered me the most, and I didn't know this until I actually got to see him, but in Jewish tradition,
Hmm.
you're not supposed to basically modify the body
Okay.
in burial. Like how you go to a typical funeral and there's makeup, their mouth is
Yeah.
closed, and they look kind of presentable.
Yeah.
No, I actually got to see him exactly how in the position that he was in when
Wow.
he died, and it was something that's never I'm never gonna be able to get that out of my head.
Right, right.
I
Condolences,
was
man.
like,
I'm sorry about that.
yeah, I was angry and sad, and the whole nine. And we talked about this before our interview. Your mom died very suddenly.
Yeah. Yeah, my mom,
And
she had got some kind of heart procedure done just prior to that. And what happened was, I believe she had a heart attack in her sleep. Because my mother, she worked for the probation department. So her health has been kind of up and down, the older she got anyway. And she had a desk next to her bed. And she kind of like set up and leaned up against, how you would just lay on the desk like we used to do in school like this and go to sleep. And she just didn't wake up. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, the only thing I could say, and this is something we talked about, is not having to go see your mom deteriorate over the course of months or years.
Yeah.
Is is something that's a whole lot better than having to see her.
Absolutely. I agree.
I remember when my dad had Parkinson's, right? So like it started with him not being able to walk that well and whatever,
Hmm.
and then then he'd have to be in a wheelchair, and then it started affecting his lungs and his ability to breathe. So he'd have to be in the hospital and ICU, and then he'd have a breathing tube and all that. And I remember for maybe like 6 months, I had to take over the care because my mother almost didn't want him around anymore.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I had to completely just take over his overall care and make all the decisions. And whenever I would get a phone call with an 818 number, I knew that this was the hospital or a
Yeah.
doctor, and I'd just be like, "Is this the call where they tell me he's gonna
Yeah.
die?
Yeah.
Like, is
Yeah.
this the call?" And
That's not
every
an easy
day I
thing
would
to
deal with
do,
this
bro. Like,
day after fucking day,
damn.
and you know, and I had to actually, and this still bothers me to today. I had to basically agree to do a do not resuscitate order
Oh,
that
wow.
basically says that if he, because he was already good, he'd be on a breathing tube, and then they'd manage to pull him off of it, and then he'd be there, but he still have breathing masks and everything. And then me and the doctor agreed that if he gets on the if his lungs fail one more time and he goes on the breathing tube, he's not going to be able to recover. So we agreed to do a do not resuscitate, and then maybe a week later, I get the call to say that he died and they didn't resuscitate. And I'm just like, even to this day, it's like, did I make the right decision? Did I ultimately
Yeah,
kill
I
my father?
understand.
Like,
I understand.
it fucks me up.
Trust me, I do. I know that's not an easy thing to deal with, bro. Because even me and my brothers, like, it was literally me and my brothers, bro. We had to do everything for my mother's funeral. You know, get her body to the corner, and decide where we wanted to keep her at and things like that. Like we had to do everything. That shit was not easy to do, bro. Like just to even talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Sitting down with my brothers, figuring out what we gonna do, how we gonna pay for it, this. Like that shit was difficult, Vlad. It was it was a hard thing to do, man. And it's crazy that that responsibility fell on us like that. And the only solace I find is that I'm glad she didn't have to bury me.